Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, Yankee fans can breathe a little sigh of relief. The offense finally wakes up. Now it comes in another series loss against the Minnesota Twins. But, the yin and yang of it is that we actually see the Yankee offense go to work and put up a big spot there in the third game. So it kind of salvaged that last game there and not get swept by Minnesota. So you kind of take a little solace in that. And the fact that Judge, which we'll get into, took an awkward slide into third base. And at first we thought maybe it injured his hand. And of course, that would have been like the end of at least the first part of this season. But nevertheless, he was able to come back in this game and contribute. So breathe a sigh of relief there. But again, the Yankees take a series loss against the Minnesota Twins. So we'll get into all that. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. So if you're listening for the first time or have a repeat listener but still haven't subscribed or followed for whatever reason, do it now. Make a difference in your life. And I want to do a little cross promotion. If you want to go to the YouTube channel, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, drop the latest video there. Visual video, so you get to see me versus just only hearing me. And I made another visit to Yankee Stadium and kind of got into the whole, a little bit of the Toronto series, but looked back at the cone and his kind of breakdown of Matt Scherzer there and, mixing the alcohol with the rosin and what that really does for the ball. Doesn't really do much and actually benefits the pitcher, if anything else. So look at all that as well, a little Yankee history. Go back at the 100-year anniversary of Yankee Stadium, which technically not really because the real old stadium is now a park, but I guess they want to use the two plots across 161st Street as quote-unquote Yankee Stadium. Fine, kind of break that as well. A little talk about Joe Pepitone. Probably mentioned him here in the audio podcast, but also want to give him some recognition. Again, he did pass away before the season started on the YouTube channel as well. Kind of last of the Mohegan Yankees going back to the 60s era, the golden 60s with like Mantle and Berra and Whitey Ford and Moose Scour and all those guys, and kind of Pepitone, that last linkage with those folks. Now he's now unfortunately gone from Yankee history or Yankee family, whatever you want to call it. So now, we're going to get to the series, but before we do, now the Yankee fans got a little bit bad news in a way that, because Brian Reynolds, if you had any hopes of him coming here at some point and kind of being a left fielder, steady Eddie for the Yankees, who kind of, Yankees kind of floating around, always different names there in left field. Well, he's completely off the table. Now, they were talking about him all off season, and his name would have been hot this coming trade deadline. But now he's off the book, so the Pirates breaking the bank, shelling out $106 million. It's the biggest deal in the franchise history. Kind of pathetic, but that's actually true. 8-year deal with an option for the 2031 season. So they lock up Reynolds. So any hopes of him coming here in left field playing for the Yankees, that's just out the window. And it's a situation where you may have to wait like 3 or 4 years into that deal when maybe the Pirates are desperate to unload his money. They would maybe get him on a sweetheart deal. But right now, no way is he going to be a Yankee this season or next after that. So since right now, until maybe another name comes up, you're looking at a mishmash of, when Stanton comes back, / Hicks, if he's still around, / Oswaldo Cabrera, who you hope you get going with the bat a little bit more there in left field until, again, the Yankees find a more steady option or solution. So the first game was Johnny Brito versus Sonny Gray, and Brito and get absolutely shellacked in the first game. Couldn't get out of the first inning. You would hope maybe if you learned something from that one and would come back a little strong in this game, but that would not be the case. Now he would at least get out of the first inning. Wowee! But unfortunately for the Yankees, they would absolutely get dominated by former Yankee Sonny Gray. Actually, 2 former Yankees would hurt the Yankees in this game, as well as Gray and Joey Gallo later on. And Gray, you remember he came here. It was the 2017 season. The Yankees traded for him from Oakland, but was a bit of a disappointment. Wasn't the Sonny Gray we thought we were getting. Again, he was never like a big strikeout type of pitcher or anything like that. He was kind of someone like, kind of a finesse pitcher, gets to get a lot of ground outs and pop-ups and stuff like that. But when he came here, he just wasn't the pitcher that he was with Oakland. And now on his way out the door, he complained that, well, the Yankees coaches, the pitching staff and coaches, want him to throw more breaking balls and sliders and try to get more swing and misses, which that's kind of true. The Yankees do roll like that a lot. That's kind of part of the reason why Gary Sanchez had so many problems behind the plate blocking balls, because that wasn't his forte. But the Yankee pitching staff is always coached to throw a lot more splitters and breaking balls in the dirt to get swings and misses. That's the way Cashman likes to roll. But unfortunately, that really wasn't fit for a Gray. And that's when he kind of mentioned that. And he did, after leaving the Yankees, find success with the Cincinnati Reds and now with the Minnesota Twins. So there is probably something to that. But nevertheless, it was Brito versus Gray in this game. And finally, it wasn't until the third inning that Minnesota got on the board. Jorge Polanco, with the bases loaded, had an RBI single, would score 2. Pit Minnesota up at that point 2-0. And later in the third, Kepler would score an RBI ground out. And the Twins would take a 3-0 lead. And again, Jody Brito, he got out of the first, but really wasn't able to do much after that in this game. And then by the fourth inning, he was lifted for Greg Weissart, who, facing former Yankee Joey Gallo. Gallo took him deep, increased the lead to 4-0. You could pretty much turn the game off at that point. Again, the Yankee offense wasn't really able to muster anything against Sonny Gray. Gray went 7 innings, just gave up 3 hits and had 8 strikeouts. And the Yankee offense looked completely anemic against him. And with the score up 6-0 in the ninth, the Yankees did scratch a run across, but whatever. You don't even look at that point. Yankees take a 6-1 loss there. And again, this is when you saw Yankee fans starting to get a little squeamish now. You've seen them, get 3 games against the Toronto Blue Jays. The offense do nothing. Now you got this first game against the Minnesota Twins. And remember, traditionally, the Yankees do very well against the Minnesota Twins. Pretty much have dominated the past 25, 30 years, especially in the playoffs. So anytime anything's going wrong, a visit to Minnesota usually cures all the ails. Well, not be the case. And the Yankees, even against the Twins, struggling to score runs. And again, you see fans starting to panic. And it's really a couple of things. I mean, you got to look at the loss of Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, that's the protection he would give Judge. And, Judge not doing overall too great. And again, without Stanton protecting him in the lineup, and, which also helps with Rizzo as well, that all filters down. And if you look at this, the bottom 4 or 5 hitters in that Yankee lineup, and this is a lot of automatic outs lately, like Gleyber Torres and the young guys, whether it's Peraza, Oswaldo Cabrera, the catches, whether it's Trevino or Hicks, of course, has been terrible. He's batting like a little bit over 107. I mean, just this, like, you would take 200 from Hicks right now because he's just struggling to barely stay over 100 right now. So again, I mentioned this in the YouTube episode. I just don't know how long they could keep putting him out there. I know he has this year and another year left on a deal, and you're paying him money, but I mean, he's barely hitting over 100, and you got 4 or 5 automatic outs at that bottom of the lineup. And Anthony Volpe, who I like that Boone puts him on top of the lineup there, but he's got to hit a little bit better because we know he can steal bases, and that's why the Yankees have him up there at the top of the line. Great, but you got to get on base, whether walks or hits or whatever. He's got to do a little bit. And now he would have a good game 3 there. It's a breathe a little sigh of relief. He would hit 2 doubles, but again, consistently, especially if he's going to be in the top of the lineup there, which I like, he's got to hit a little bit more. And the Yankees lose the first game 6-1. Now, after the game, they did send Weissart down, not for actually giving a home run to Gallo, who, usually Gallo's an easy strikeout victim, but no, the Yankees needed to tweak a little bit with the bullpen, just with some of the matchups coming up in the next 2 games. So they sent Weissart down and called up Nick Ramirez from the Rail Riders, give him a major league deal, and sign him to the major league roster there after that game. So this will bring us to game 2, where, you have Nestor on the mound. You figure, all right, Nestor Cortez, he's usually reliable, and he, maybe right the ship there against Joe Ryan, who absolutely dominated the Yankees when Minnesota visited in the Bronx a couple of weeks ago. Now, the Yankees would get on the board first in this game. It was Judge, who he walked in his first at-bat. Now, he would get on second base thanks to an error by Ryan, and then DJ LeMay would flick a single into right field, easily scoring Judge and put the Yankees up on the board early 1-0. You figure, all right, maybe we could turn things around a little bit in this game there. But in the third, with the game already tied 1-1, Jorge Polanco would double off Nestor, would score Donovan Solano, and put the Twins up 2-1. But the Yankees would answer in the 5th. Now, Judge would have a fielder's choice ground out at third, but Hicks was able to score on a throwing error by that same Donovan Solano. He was able to get in there and tie the score up to point 2-2. And in the game, actually, with Hicks, before mentioning his hitting woes, another drop ball in left field. Now, I'm not saying it was routine. He had to run against the wall there, but ball kind of clacked in the heel of his glove and then hit against the wall. So, he was on the warning track there. I'm not saying it was a bang-bang play, but I think any most competent left fielders, and even Hicks probably 5 years ago, makes that catch. So, again, not only is he struggling at the plate, but we saw yet another bad flub in left field by him. But you have no choice because Judge likes playing center field there. So, in the 6th inning, with Nestor on the mound still, Brian Buxton would put the game away. A 2-run home run off of Nestor Cortez would increase Minnesota's lead to 4-2. And for Nestor Cortez, actually broke a streak of 16 starts that he would give up 3 runs or fewer. But if that was broken, of course, with this 4th run given up but from the home run from Brian Buxton. And then going to the bullpen there, Larnach would hit another 2-run home run off of Rob Marinaccio, increase the lead 6-2. And again, at that point, you put the game away. Minnesota comes away with the second game, winning 6-2. Now, Joe Ryan, again, pretty much dominated the Yankees, increases his record to 5-0. So he's the first 5-game winner right now in baseball. And again, two of those wins against the Yankees this season. And for Minnesota, it's their first time since 2001 that they have started off with a 4-2 record in the first 6 games against the Yankees this season, just to show how the Yankees have just dominated them over the past 20-plus seasons. But right now, so far, 6 games in, Minnesota had a 4-2 record. And again, you see Yankee fans really panicking. Not only is it the rest of the guys not doing good, but even like marquee players like Judge. And I know DJ had an RBI in this game, but still, you'd like to get more production out of him. And so it just seems like, and Rizzo, who I kind of gave kudos to in the YouTube episode, at one point, about a week ago, so he was hitting 344. Now just hovering around 300 more or less. So again, Yankee offense, even the marquee players, the big guys, still not getting it done a while. But that would all change in Game 3, the game where the Yankee fans could breathe a little sigh of relief. Now, there was a game that celebrated Judge's 31st birthday, so you'd like him get a win for his birthday, and it was Domingo Germán versus Medea. Now, if you remember last time with Germán, this was his best game, probably almost a couple of seasons. He spun that 11 strikeout performance. Again, it was the one where Rocco Bordelli came out and thought maybe because Germán also had a little sticky substance on his hand. Then Germán cleaned it off, but supposedly he had a little bit left on his pinky there. But Germán was able to really spin the ball up there great, and again had the 11 strikeouts in the game. So you figure maybe hopefully Germán could take that into this game. Now, the Yankees would get on the board in the second inning. Gleyber Torres would get the party started with a double. He would score on a Calhoun infield single, put the Yankees up at that point 1-0. Judge in the second inning with the bags juiced, hits a double, clears the bags. So he's on second base, and the Yankees put 3 more on the board. So gives the Yankees at that point a 5-0 lead, but a little bit scared. Judge, we've seen him, even though as a big guy, try to steal bases on second already, trying to put himself in scoring position, goes for third base. Now he's gunned out and thrown out, but as he's sliding his hand there, hand goes in the dirt a little bit awkwardly and kind of looked a little gingerly and was holding it, as he was coming up for third. And of course, all Yankee Nation, holding their breath there, because again, if he goes down for any amount of time with just the Stanton injury and the Donaldson injury and the Beta, used to wait Beta come back and stuff like that, and all these injuries are really taking a toll on the team. The last guy you could need to get hurt is Aaron Judge, especially after signing a $360 million deal. But nevertheless, now Judge did run into the clubhouse, and then people figure, maybe because he wanted to get, he was hurt and was like wanted to get an X-ray right away or something like that. But it was actually just more pissed off that he got caught stealing. He thought he could get a better jump than that, so he was more mad at himself. Now he would wrap his hand up in this game and continue to play. Now he was DH for this game, so he wasn't in the field, so maybe that helped a little bit that he didn't have to shag balls there in the outfield with a bad hand, because again it was the left hand there that kind of he slid in and felt funky with. He would stay in this game, but the Yankees would put this game away for good in the fourth, thanks to 2 RBI doubles by Volpe and Rizzo, who later on would increase the Yankee lead to 9-1, and then Torres would put the cherry on top with a 2-run home run, which again, I've been waiting for Torres. Again, Torres had a really good start to the season, but over the last maybe 2 weeks, he's kind of been a little bit quiet. But good to see him get his home run there, because again, it has to be more people than just Judge doing this. Increased the Yankee lead to 11-1 at that point. And then from there, you can really turn it off. Now, Germán himself, if you look at his final line, he went 6 innings, did have 8 strikeouts. So again, another good strikeout performance against those same very Twins. But he did give up 6 earned runs. Now, you could look at him and say that he didn't have a good start. But when you have a big lead like that, they say pitch to the score. And that's when, you're going to challenge hitters more. You're not going to nibble. And when that happens, you're more likely to get hit around just because you're not challenging players. Obviously, when the score is like, 1-0, 2-1, 3-1, again, as a pitcher, you're going to be more fine-tuned. You're going to dot the corners, stuff like that. When you have a big lead, you don't mess around. You don't want to walk players. You just throw, say, hey, here, hit it. And sometimes they're going to hit it a long way. Even Joey Gallo had another home run in this game. So, again, Gallo burnt the Yankees for 2 home runs in the series. When you pitch into the score, you just want to get outs. And, again, you're going to get hit around a lot. So, I would still overall call this a good start by Germán, even though he did give up the 6 earned runs. And from Maeda, he was charged with 10 earned runs in this game, so that just blew his ERA up. And the Yankees at least able to salvage that final game 3 there for Judge's 31st birthday. And more than just great seeing the offense come to life a little bit, but also good to see this the fact that it looks like Judge sliding on his hand there wasn't anything serious, and he was able to come back and contribute this game. Now let's see. The day after, sometimes you get hurt and you feel your body's still warm, you still feel good, and then the next day is when you start getting the ouches. So let's see if if there's any lingering effects on Judge's hand here moving forward. Now road trip continues. Yankees go down a little bit south to face the Texas Rangers. Both teams have just about the same record. The Yankees 14-11 and Rangers 14-10. Cole will get his start for the Yankees, so that's good news there. Again, Cole didn't get his win against Toronto, but did throw up 5 2/3 innings, threw up zeros there. So again, another good quality start from him. So he's had 5 really good starts for the Yankees. So he's like to keep him rolling there. Now the second game is probably almost take it as a loss, because it's going to be Clark Schmidt versus Jacob deGrom. Again, deGrom had a little bit of injury bug, but he looks like he's back and he's slated to pitch the second game of the series. And that's probably the figure, especially with Clark Schmidt pitching. You figure that's the one you're going to lose. So you hope you win the first game. You're probably going to lose the second game, and then you take your chances with the third game. So that's it with the Yankees. So we've seen a little sign of life from the offense. Great. Hopefully they keep that continuing. And of course, Brian Reynolds off the Yankee fan dream list. He's now locked up with the Pirates. I'm not saying that this one game for the Yankee outburst is like cures everything. They could just easily go down to Texas and put up another stinker of no offense. But, at least you got to see them do that. I think down in Texas, again, I think traditionally the Yankees do well, and I think, it being hot down there, I think the ball will fly a little bit. So I think this Yankee offense will keep it going against Texas. Again, other than Jacob deGrom, no one really scares you that much. So I think the Yankees should take 2 out of 3 against Texas, but that remains to be seen. So hope you enjoyed the episode. And go make sure you check out the YouTube channel as well and catch the latest video episodes. See me at the stadium there doing a little whatnot. And we'll catch you next time.